Hello. Excellent. I'm live now. I'm hoping it's working and not buffing too much. I went from 3 to 15 seconds to 19 seconds. We'll see if it's working. 19 to 25 seconds. I sent a little message into YouTube. And there's bad weather outside, so that might be the biggest problem here. But it's nice to see that I'm live anyways. So I'm going to do my best to do this video. With any luck, it will work, and you'll be understanding the words that are coming out of my mouth. Okay, as long as the seconds go by at the right speed, I should be okay. The idea of this video was to show you how to make poached eggs properly. Now I've done the video 2 or 3 times now, hoping that the video would record, but it didn't record. So I have 2 videos with nothing on them, but waiting to go live. So they're not going to go live. So as long as you're watching this one, which says the same title, you should get the gif of my next video, which is called "Let's Talk About Tools and Stocks and Fonts and Poached Eggs." I'm probably going to make this a little quicker because I've already done this on Meta, and I had a little problem on Meta as well. By the end, it buffed out on me, so I couldn't finish. I'm going to make this quick, but it'll still be knowledgeable. Tomorrow will be a nicer day. I guess it's a snowstorm out there in the wilderness, and so it's hitting the towers and making it very difficult to make videos for people. So let's see what we can do here. Your tools are important things when being a chef. Your hat, must always wear a hat. If you wear glasses, bring 2 at least to work. If one breaks, then you'll have another one. Go to Shoppers Drug Mart and you can buy the cheap ones. If it's just reading level glasses, hopefully if you've had glasses your whole life, you'll have an extra pair. Wear your chef's jacket, tie up your chef's jacket, be professional, okay? No arguing in the kitchen, because you want to learn from people, regardless if you like them or not. Business is business, it's not personal, okay? Making friends in a kitchen doesn't always happen. Business is business. Business in a kitchen is business. Time is money. All right, so get that state of mind in your head and you'll do fine. Now, if you happen to be friends with somebody, that's good. But don't go into a kitchen expecting it. All right, something like that, you'd be surprised. It can put you in a bad spot. Business is business is business. So on that note, you want to have your non-slip shoes. You want to have good shoes, okay? Spend money on it because you're on your feet all the time. Buy some soles. They're like $50. It's a lot, but you're standing on your feet all the time, and there's not always those plastic mats, the rubber mats on the holes on them on the floor. They're not always there, okay? In some restaurants. Regardless, good shoes important, okay? You always want your thermometer. You want your marker and your pen. Okay, you need that for putting your name and the date and whatever it is that you're storing when you're prepping. That's all got to be on the tape when you put it away. All right, you don't have to put the time. We used to, but it's not that big a deal. The time. Most people need a very big knife for romaine lettuce. All right, garbange salads. It's good to have a very big knife, all right, because you're cutting romaine lettuce. It's very hard with a small knife or even a typical chef's knife, which is this one here. All right, you want a good sharp knife. Okay, these are razor sharp. You want to sharpen your knives often. Okay, maybe not this kind of knife. This kind of knife you do. Okay, The Ginsu type knifeware situation must be sharp all the time when you go into your kitchen. Okay, so every night, every second night, bring it into the shop every couple of weeks. They'll sharpen it there for us for a low cost. Keep your clothes clean. All right. Don't walk in dirty pants. It's ugly. Okay. Your checkered pants, if they are filthy with holes in them, that doesn't show somebody that you worked hard. It shows somebody that you're a filthy pig. All right. So I don't care how good you are. You should know better. Get a clean pair. Okay. Put them on. Have a little respect. Okay. Especially for the new guy. All right. I'm not saying that happened to me, but I've seen it before. So maybe it did. So you got your honer. All right. This is not for sharpening your knife. It's called a honer. It's for honing your knife. So it gives it a little bit more ability. All right. It's not sharpening it. It's honing it. Okay. So it's like sharpening it, but it's not sharpening it. It's honing it. Okay. So you can go, the way I like to hone my knife is this way. Okay. Some people go like this. All right. There are ways to do it. Fine. Whatever works for you. Okay. But it's not sharpening it. It's honing it. Okay. You should clean your honer. All right. Take a little bit of salt. All right. And you put it on your towel. All right. And then you go like this. And you're going to see all those steel shards come off. That's how you clean your honer. All right. You walk into a kitchen that hasn't cleaned their honer in 20 years. All right. Clean it for them. Do something nice. Okay. So you'd be surprised. There's a lot of people who cook who are not chefs, who've been cooking for years and years and years, but have never taken a chef's course. You got to understand about restaurants. Every restaurant is different. All right. So everybody does it a different way. All right. So it's not that you have to master that. The thing is that a person can master a menu. All right. But it doesn't make them all that great. They're not a great chef. They might be a good cook in that restaurant, but it doesn't mean that they can make a masala. Chicken masala, anything that's not on their menu, they might not have any idea how to make it. Even if they seem like a great cook, he even looks like a chef. You got your food handler certificate and it's certificates up on the board. Hey, congratulate him, but doesn't make him great. All right. You got to understand that just because you know a menu doesn't make you great. Okay. There's a lot of menus out there. And you got to understand also that I have seen cooks that are greater than any Red Seal chef you've ever seen. I've never taken the course, chef's course, culinary skills. All right. But are smart enough to know that there's more food out there than just the restaurant that they're working at. Some people have a passion for cooking. Some people just take the certificate for a prerequisite to get into music school or something like that. I'm just using that as an example. But it can be used as a prerequisite. It can be used to help you stay in the country. A lot of reasons why people go to culinary school. For me, it was because I have a love for food. And I want to be known, and that's another reason why I'm making videos. I have an Instagram, garlicman454. You can check it out. I haven't really updated it in a little while, but I'll get to it soon. I make videos on Meta as well as YouTube. I made one today. Didn't work out too well because of the buffing and the storm situation outside. And this is my third time trying to make it on YouTube today. So I'm trying to make it fast because I'm getting tired. So tools, you have your gear, you have your knives. Oh, you have your tools. This is my stock pot. Stock pot's really good for keeping your tools in. I mean, how often do you make stock? It's one of the most important things to know when you're learning how to make a glass, which is the reduction, which takes hours and hours and hours to make a very nice sauce. My last video was au jus. All right, so you deglaze the plant, make a little red wine, pour in some stock. Okay, now you got to have that stock. You can buy the stock at the store, or you can make the stock. That's the stock pot you use to make stock, because you can do it in a little pot. Second on the list is stock. All right, that's the other thing I want to talk about. All right, so you got your tools. Let me tell you two more tools before I move on to stock. Okay, so you got, this is for salmon. All right, it's got a very, very nice, see that little lift there? All right, now there's a couple spatulas you can use. All right, if you work in eggs, all right, you don't want something too thick. All right, because flipping them is going to be a pain in the neck. All right, I worked with a cook one time. He could flip eggs no problem with a thick one, but he I don't think he had the common sense to go buy a proper one. Been working the same job for 23 years, so I don't think he really knew better. But if you buy one with a very thin part here, then flipping the eggs makes it so much easier. Don't buy it. Don't have one that's thick, or have a cook try to show you better with a thick one, all right, to make you look bad. It's an insult. Try to have one in your tools just in case you're in that situation. Okay. This is for salmon. It's got a little lift on it. It's one of the best things for salmon. You cook salmon, you start it on the skin side down. You get a nice little sear. All right, seared salmon. You flip it over, Montebeurre. So you put butter with a spoon on top of it. All right, the butter melts in the pan, and you pour it over top of the salmon. You don't cook it all the way through. You take the pan, you put it in the oven, you finish the cooking there. Take it out, you plate it. Beautiful. My tweezers, excellent for shrimp, excellent for pasta. All right, very smart move. Okay, you make pasta, you got your ladle, and you got your tweezers. Okay, you take the tweezers into the pasta, into the spaghetti, and you twist. And you put this ladle into the ladle, and you twist. And then you lay it into the plate like this, and you twist, and you take it out, and you got a beautiful pile of spaghetti there. Finish it off with a little Parmesan, maybe a little bit of fresh herbs. Some people put fresh herbs all over the plate. Some people think it's a little too tacky, but it's up to you. You're the chef. I have to say it's up to the restaurant too. So the stock. You got your imagine. Let's take the pot and turn it into a small pot. Okay. Now, if you cut up some carrots, and you boil the carrots in water for like 15 minutes. All right. What are you going to get? You're going to get orange water, right? If you separate it. All right. So you got your cheesecloth in your china cap. All right. That's one of the tools. I wonder if they're ever going to change the name to a china cap, because it refers Chinese. I think they're going to change the name of that one day, but there's a lot of tools out there that just don't sound right. They should come up with better names for them. China cap is one of them. So you take your china cap, and you got your cheesecloth in there, and you're pouring that into the cheesecloth so all the juice goes through and into a cup or whatever. And you see it's orange water, hot orange water, but whatever. That's going to be a carrot stock. And you can have a shrimp stock, you can have a carrot stock, you can have vegetable stock, you can have beef stock, you can have chicken stock, and this is typically it. Okay. You also have a bouquet garni, all right, or a sachet. Sachets are small, bouquet garni is the big. All right. If you're making a big batch, you're going to use a bouquet garni. If you're making a small batch, you're going to use a sachet. Now, a sachet, all right, is wrapped in your cheesecloth, all right, with butcher's twine. Okay, so you're using parsley stems. So not the leaves of the parsley. This is fresh parsley. You got stems. You're using those stems. You take 3 or 4 stems. Okay, you take 3 or 4 peppercorns. Just 3 or 4 little peppercorn, little balls of peppercorn. All right. You can use garlic if you want. Take a little clove of garlic. Use bay leaf. All right, and thyme. All right, a couple sprigs of thyme. All right, and you put that all in the cheesecloth and you wrap it with your butcher's twine. Tie it. That's gonna go in your stock water as it's boiling. All right, all the vegetables, or the meat and vegetables. Gives it a little extra flavor. It's nice to have that extra flavor. I mean, the salt and pepper, kosher salt does a whole lot for a lot of things, because it's kosher salt, right? It's perfect stuff for meat. You want to talk about rosemary and thyme, you talk about kosher salt, baby. All right, well, so that's your sachet, and the sachet will go into stock. All right, so now you have 3 different shades of stock. You've got a light, a medium, and a brown stock. All right, so a light stock may not have carrots in it because carrots will make it more of a brown stock. All right, so instead of carrots, you'll put like parsnips or something in it. Okay, when you're doing vegetables, all right, the vegetables will make a color of the stock. So if you want a light stock, all right, for a light soup, all right, you want to keep that soup light color. So you're not going to use a brown stock for a light soup, right? You're going to use a light stock for a light soup. Keep it bright, not dark. So we're going to go with a medium dark stock right now. That's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk, it goes 50% onions, 25% carrots, and 25% celery. That's typical mirepoix, okay? Now, this is a vegetable stock, all right? It's just going to be vegetables, all right? So you're going to, and they all have to be the same size, all right? So try to cut your carrots the same size as the little cubes of onion and the little cubes of celery, all right? Or slices of celery. They all got to be roughly the same size, okay? So you're going to throw in a little bit of vegetable oil, all right? You're going to throw in your onions into the pot, and you're going to let them fry a little bit. You're going to throw in the carrots, and you're going to throw in the celery. In fact, you can almost do it all together. As soon as the onions are roughly translucent, you go ahead and throw in the water. It's fine. Boil it up a bit. Throw in your sachet, or your sachet of the bay leaf and thyme. All right. Let it boil a little bit, and then you're going to put it through the cheesecloth, and you're going to put it through the straining situation. So it just has water and there's no stuff in it. All right. After it's done, and that's going to be your vegetable stock. So you're going to make chicken stock now. Okay. Bones. All right. The collagen in bones. All right. All that stuff inside the bones. All right. So you're going to take the chicken bones and you want to cut them into pieces. All right. Break the chicken bones open. It's all good. The knuckle of the bones, knuckle of the beef bones, knuckle of the chicken bones. But we're just using chicken because we're making chicken stock. So it's just going to be chicken bones. All right. So you're still making your mirepoix. All right. Medium or dark, with the carrots, the onions, and the celery. You're still making your little sachet. All right. With the butcher's twine and the cheesecloth and the peppercorns and the thyme, whatever. All right. So you're making that sachet, and you're adding the water. You're putting it to a boil. Now you're going to add the chicken stuff, your chicken meat, chicken bones. All right. And you're going to let that boil with it. All right. You're going to skim off that crap off the top of it. All right. As it boils every so often, you throw in the sachet, let it go. Let it go for a while. Okay. You can throw in a little salt, pepper if you want to. I don't know that I wouldn't do it, but I mean, do that after. Okay. So, to taste. Do it after the taste. And then you're going to strain it through the cheesecloth. All right. It takes a little bit longer because you got chicken bones in there. So you're going to be, an hour, 40 minutes, I guess. I mean, there's a certain time for it. I think the vegetable stock only takes like 45 minutes, but the chicken stock takes like an hour and 45 minutes, and the beef stock probably takes 2 hours or something. But there's a time for each one of them. You can Google it, double check, right? Okay. You're going to strain that through the cheesecloth, and then you're going to have your chicken stock, or you're going to have your beef stock. So if it's not chicken, it's beef, right? It's the same situation, all right? Now you can throw that stuff out afterwards because everything that's came from it is garbage. It's finished. So you can throw it out. If you want to eat the meat, eat the meat. I don't know. I didn't eat the meat in school. I just threw it out. You make turkey stock, same sort of thing. Turkey meat, turkey bones. You make a shrimp stock. All right. Again, if you just want to make carrot stock, you just make carrot stock. Shrimp stock comes from the seafood stuff. The shells and the leftovers. You can even use some meat, but I mean, it can get expensive. If you want to make a nice glaze sauce, a reduction sauce, it could take 2 days, a day and a half. I like to stick it in the fridge overnight because the fat solidifies at the top and you scrape off the fat. You don't want it to be too fatty, right? And near the reduction. And you're going to reduce it even more and then put it in a smaller pot, reduce it even more, put it in a smaller pot. I mean, that is a whole story in its own. All right. We'll get to that another time. Typically, we want to deglaze the bottom of our stock pot, the big stock pot there I showed you a few minutes ago. You put the meat in there and you let it fry at the bottom of that. But you got stock already made, you see. You got to let it fry at the bottom of that with the onions and everything and the bones. And then you're going to put the stock on. You're going to deglaze the bottom of that stock pot. You're gonna fill it up with vegetables and all sorts of meats and stuff like that, and you're gonna let it simmer. You're gonna add wine. You're gonna add all sorts of stuff to it. So I mean, it's a different process than making stock. Stock itself is as simple as that. All right. You make it, you strain it, and then strain it twice if you want to, just to make sure there's none of that crap and nothing floating inside it. All right. It should be clear. And that's your stocks. All right. So bang, you got stock. And you can make a big batch of stock, 2-3 liters of it if you want to. Of course, you can buy it for $2 for 900 milliliters. Shoppers Drug Mart. And that's why we don't make stock too often. Some people use powder, the little bouillon cubes there, little cubes, and I don't like that, but I've seen restaurants do it to save themselves the worry. I've never seen a French restaurant do it. If you're going to make it at the restaurant, you make it in batches, you put it in pails. All right, you mark it: beef stock, vegetable stock, seafood stock, and for goodness sake, if you're going to pick up a pail, use 2 hands. Don't grab it by the lid, okay? Because if you spill that, especially if it's seafood stock, you're going to get in trouble because it's a lot of money down the drain, especially if you used meat. Seafood sauce, even the carcass of seafood, is expensive. Be careful. Last thing you need is an executive chef on your butt. No, that never happened to me, but I was told use 2 hands, and he told me why, and it made sense, and I should pass it on, and that's why I'm doing it. I'm passing it on to you so that you know if you're ever in that situation where you have to grab a bucket of stock out of the fridge, don't grab it by the handle, don't grab it by the lid like this. Use 2 hands like this. Grab the bucket like this. Don't push it up your body because you're going to dirty yourself. But put it like this, you know. A chef is not weak. Okay, so I want to talk, about the faunts. The faunts is the bottom part, the remnants. You know about that. Okay, so the poached eggs. Okay, now this is the recipe that I wanted to tell you about today. Okay, so you're making poached eggs. You don't want the yolk to be hard. Okay, it's a poached egg. All right, you don't want it wet on the plate either. So this is the way we're going to do it. So you're going to have a bowl. All right, glass bowl, whatever kind of bowl, doesn't make a difference. It's big. All right, it holds a cup and a half of water and a cup and a half of vinegar. All right, in that bowl. Put the water and vinegar together, about 50-50, okay? And you can put 15 eggs in there if you want to. That's fine. Put 15 eggs in there. 8 minutes, maybe 10 minutes tops, but 8 to 10 minutes. All right. Now, the acid in the vinegar will help set the outer layer of the egg whites. Okay. And that will give you the shape that you desire when serving that egg to somebody. Okay. It'll help the cooking process. It'll give you a better egg. Okay. Get a pot, put it on the stove, put the element on, fill it a little over half of water. A little over half, all right? You don't want boiling water for poached eggs. You want to see the little bubbles underneath the water on the pot surface. You can see little bubbles, all right? Not a lot of little bubbles, but you're going to see little bubbles. They're going to be hot enough, but not boiling, all right? You're going to take a ladle and you're going to grab out of the vinegar and water bowl, you're going to grab an egg. All right? You're going to put it into the water. Okay? In the water it goes. 2 to 3 minutes tops. All right? 2 to 3 minutes. Now you're going to have a towel, not one with little fluffy, not that kind of towel with the little fluffy things coming out of it. All right, a towel and not a paper towel. You don't want a paper towel. You don't want little pieces of towel sticking to the egg. All right, you want a towel, all right, to put the egg onto to dry it. Okay, so make sure you have a towel there. You're going to take a slotted spoon, all right, to take it out of the hot water. You're going to take the slotted spoon. That's a spoon with holes in it. Okay, you want to see it? This is a plastic slotted spoon. It's got holes in it, so the water drains. Usually use a metal one. Okay, you following me? You're going to take that egg out of the hot water with your slotted spoon and you're going to put it on the towel. And the towel is going to absorb the water. You want a dry egg, okay? And it should be strong enough. It should be strong. You should be fine, all right? You're going to take that dry egg and you're going to put it in the center of your plate. And you're going to put 2 eggs on that plate. Unless the menu calls for 3, you're going to put 2 eggs and you're going to put salt and you're going to put pepper. And you could put garnish around it. Odds are it's going to be served with something else. I could put a little to the side of the center. But remember, a food must not be on the edge of a plate. There's a rim around a plate. Food doesn't go on that rim. It goes before the rim. Forget that. When you're plating something, food doesn't go on the rim. Now, it's salt and it's pepper. It's cracked pepper. Kind of pepper. Not this kind of pepper. The cracked pepper. You know the one I'm talking about, okay? You could put a little garnish on there, but odds are it's going to be served with something else, maybe a few hash browns or something. Don't overdo it. Now, if you want to make a batch, say you're working at a hotel and you want to make a batch of poached eggs, you can do that, okay? So you take a cookie sheet, you put a little bit of water in the cookie sheet because it's usually this deep, right? A cookie sheet. So you put a little bit of water in it. You cook a bunch of eggs, 2 to 3 minutes, and then you put those things on the cookie sheet in the water. All right, you cover it with foil and you put it away until somebody's ready to want, you know, or until the buffet needs another 10 eggs or 15 eggs. And you put it in the oven 350 degrees for a couple of minutes just to warm them up, to warm the water up. You do not want to serve somebody a poached egg where the yolk is hard. It's very important, which means if 2 to 3 minutes, if 3 minutes is too long, then it's only going to be 2 minutes that you're going to put that in the hot water before you transfer it to the cookie sheet to save it, because you're going to put it in the oven for a couple of minutes to warm up the water, to warm up the egg. And then you got to remove the egg, put it on something dry, a dry cloth, like I said, not a cloth that can share its little fibers with the egg. No, you need a cloth that you wash in the laundry, cotton cloth maybe, that's the same density as a paper towel, but not a paper towel. You know what I mean? Okay, good. So that's how you save poached eggs for later. So 31 minutes 56 seconds. My third time going through this. Thank you for listening, and I hope that you make perfect poached eggs. I hope you subscribe, because I am going to be talking about a few more interesting things tomorrow. Say maybe I don't know, maybe chicken masala. I mean, masala is really nice. It's from Sicily. Yeah, I was trained in French cuisine, but my second love is Italian food. So a lot of what I'm going to be speaking about will be between French and Italian. I did want to make a coq au vin, chicken ballantine maybe is very nice. I have a beautiful procedure that we can go through together, and I just want to, work towards it. All right, because you need to know how to make stock first. Because stock goes in masala. All right. I mean, yeah, you can go buy the stock at the store. All right, but you can make the stock too. I mean, you can make the stock. You might want to know how to make the stock because it feels good to make stock when you're making a masala, instead of just pouring in the stuff that you bought from the grocery store. I mean, if you love to cook, that is the passion right there. And I want the world to feel the passion that runs through me. I want you to have the same passion that I have inside. And I truly want the best for you, that you can show the world what you really have one day, and go further with your knowledge. I'll think about making masala tomorrow. We'll see. There's so many things. I mean, I have recipes and recipes and recipes and recipes. I just want to make sure you're ready. I mean, even the chicken masala. I mean, you got to pound the chicken. Say pound the chicken. So what am I talking about? Or if you want to fillet the chicken, if you want to, there's all sorts of things you can do to chicken. But I mean, if you're going to make chicken masala, you're going to pound it, stick it in flour. Stick it in flour? Oh, you'll get it later. So we'll talk about it. I hope that you are with me when we do. Thumbs up, subscribe, leave me a comment. What should I talk about? What should I cook? And we will do it. Okay? You have a wonderful evening, and until tomorrow. Bye bye.